Hi, we're here with the New Jersey Director of the Division of Taxation, Mr. Michael Bryan. He's kind enough to give us some of his Wednesday, so we're gonna go into some tax issues facing New Jersey. Michael, good to have you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Wanted to ask you, first off, what has the Division of Taxation's experience been with tax return identity theft?
The state of New Jersey has recognized that identity theft is a growing threat, as other jurisdictions have. Many states are continuing and initiating efforts in this area. We recently posted a form IDT 100 on our website so taxpayers can let the Division of Taxation know that they think they might have had their identity stolen. We can flag their account to protect them from at least the tax aspects of identity theft. We can't necessarily protect taxpayers from mortgage-related theft or credit card-related items, but we can certainly flag the account and do what we can to correct the situation for the state of New Jersey. We do some coordination with the IRS where we can, but the IRS to some degree is still trying to sort out what the solutions are, as the rest of us are at the same time. So,
are there any major systems changes in store that practitioners would be interested in hearing about?
The systems I mentioned earlier to interrupt earned income credit abuse and other areas of abuse were really new in the 2011 filing season. As we go into the 2013 filing season, we've learned some lessons, and we believe that'll be much smoother. What I will mention is practitioners should be aware that most of the software providers will be enabling the e-filing of our corporate income tax return, the CBT 100. The last thing I'll mention in this area is we have noticed that there are about 3,800 practitioners that aren't meeting the expectations of the e-file mandate for individual returns. We'll be sending a notice out sometime this fall to put those practitioners on notice that we've recognized that they haven't been e-filing returns as is expected by the mandate. And the mandate states that if a practitioner files more than 11 or more tax returns, they're expected to e-file those returns. Those practitioners are still filing paper returns with us. It'll be a warning this year, just to put them on notice that we'll expect to see more e-filed returns this year. Hopefully that'll ease some of the processing burdens through the heaviest portions of our March and April filing season.
Prior to your appointment, Mr. Bryan, we noted that there were a few decisions by conference and appeals which changed the result of an audit. Has the attitude of conference and appeals become more objective since your appointment?
Dave, I will say that I hope it has. I have met with all of our conferees and encouraged them to evaluate conference cases independently of audit's conclusion. It's just a fact that a lot of our conferees are ex-auditors, and I do encourage them not to think as auditors, although that is a difficult thing to get away from. What I don't want are conferees re-auditing cases. What I don't want are conferees looking back to the auditor or audit management for a decision about how to handle a case. I expect the conferees, and I've had this conversation with our Office of Counsel Services. I expect the conferees to act independently of those earlier conclusions. That's really what the conference's process is really supposed to be all about. It's difficult to say that they're independent, but it should be new eyes on a case. And we've empowered them, the conferees, to consider hazards of litigation and other aspects of the case to resolve cases without litigation where it's really not warranted. I've tried to reduce the number of cases that we put on to the tax court docket where it makes sense. If we have control of a case and we think it's worth litigating, we'll typically let a taxpayer know that we're going to designate a case for litigation where we think where we think we need guidance from the courts. But I do hope that practitioners are seeing a different experience in conference and appeals over the course of the last 3 years.
When will New Jersey offer an offer and compromise program that mirrors the federal government?
Frankly, Dave, I don't think it's on our to-do list to work up a program that mirrors the IRS in this regard. We do compromise cases in a number of areas within the division, whether they're collections cases, within audit, or within our conference and appeals branch, or once the cases are under the jurisdiction of the tax court. I encourage taxpayers to reach out to us, educate us as to why they believe their case should be compromised at whatever level, and we'll consider it. We do have the authority to compromise cases, but I don't have a work item right now to really work up a parallel program to the IRS offer and compromise program.
Director Bryan, is there anything you'd like to say directly to NJCPA members about anything that's going on in the tax world in New Jersey that they need to know about, or anything that they can perhaps do to make your life a little easier?
One final thought I'd leave the practitioner group with is really to e-file whenever you can. Talk to your clients, encourage them to take you up on your offers to e-file those returns. From our perspective, it's a much more efficient transaction. It's less costly for the state. It's more timely. It's more accurate. It's likely to generate fewer notices and less friction in the system. So e-file whenever you can, whether they're individual returns, business returns, corporate returns. We're doing our best to empower tax practitioners to engage us in that manner, and we're hoping that you'll do it as often as you can.
Director Bryan, thank you very much for your time and your valuable insight.
Thank you for having me here today.